People who can work well with others, assemble good teams, have good positive attitudes about science. People who enjoy what they're doing can go a long ways.
How did you navigate the tension between open academic discovery and commercial development?
Yeah, most of what we do, everything we do in the academic lab is discovery. We try to, carry out science to learn how, to advance knowledge, to understand how things work, and then sometimes work out proof of principles for how you might implement them, but it's all academic research. Every now and then we do something we think is applicable. We'd like to see get out to the world, like protein microarrays. We thought they would be very, very powerful. So once we had invented them in the lab, we decided we would spin off a company. And then you form, in the United States, you form a separate company that's different from your lab that can actually spin this off. And companies are very good at basically scaling technologies. And so academic labs, I think, are very poor at that. We think we can do it. We can set a proof of principle, but we're not so good at scaling. This is what companies can do. They can take a technology that's there and get it really robust, get it working well so that basically millions of people can then use it. And that's how we do things. So I mentioned protein microarrays. Even when we first sequenced my genome, we learned how to do that in an academic lab, and then we said, well, this is what a company should do for doing hundreds of thousands of genomes. And so we formed a company called Personalis that did just that. They've sequenced large numbers of genomes, more than any other company in the United States. And they now are probably the best company for diagnosing cancer using genomics. So we think these technologies are powerful, and the way to get them out to the world is form a company.
Early in your career, did you face any moments you feel very upset, and what mental frameworks or habits help you to stick to your projects?
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited about science in general, so I don't think I've experienced that, although people in my lab have had, I guess, times of lacking self-confidence, and I would say you just have to keep charging ahead. The thing about science is it's not a zero-sum game, meaning it's blue sky. You can discover anything you can think of. And so I think the thing to do is just be excited about what you do. Always think about new and creative ideas. I think that's what keeps me going. And then it's true there's a lot of hard work behind every discovery. And so sometimes you do have to slug it out and your experiments aren't quite working or your analyses aren't quite working. But there will always be light at the end of the tunnel. I think you just have to have enough confidence that that's the case. And so I would encourage any young people, it's really, there's just an amazing amount of things to discover out there. And I think that by itself is good motivation. So, and it's not, again, it's important to realize you're not competing with your lab mate or another lab down the hall. You're really only limited by what you can think of. And so I think for any new scientist, keep thinking, keep coming up with creative ideas, and I think that'll keep you motivated, I hope.
Thank you, and we may collaborate more than competitive, right?
You'll gain more by collaboration than competing.
What's one non-technical skill would you suggest to really focus on building to succeed in this fast-moving field?
Yeah, some of the things you just mentioned already. Don't be afraid to share your ideas, to work with others, because you can grow more capabilities by working with others than trying to do everything by yourself. In fact, there's a famous saying, I'm pretty sure it's Chinese, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, work together. And I really do believe that. I think people who can work well with others, assemble good teams, have good positive attitudes about science. People who enjoy what they're doing can go a long ways.